Football, the UK's most popular sport. But how will the election affect grassroots football? Earlham Secretary believes changes should be made to the game.
Football's thriving, but it's also shrinking. And I think that where the money should be invested is in the sporting hubs, like Earlham Football Club and like all the other amateur football clubs that are in the areas as well, so that the football can grow in those hubs. I don't think that the answer is to invest in the large, sprawling 20-pitch sites. They just aren't being used anymore.
A big talking point around the election is the investment in grassroots football. However, the recent builds of 3G pitches owned by the council are stopping the development of clubs, according to Earlham's secretary.
There's great examples of sports development going on with, an example is Hyde, over on the other side of Manchester, who've got a 3G surface and their football development's thriving. Concert up in the North East, who we played in the FA Cup recently, fantastic, they've got a great 3G surface. So that allows football development to go on within a club and retain players. Now, if you were to put a 3G surface just on an area of ground, get a partnership up with the local authority, there is no football development going on there.
So you sort of believe almost like council-owned 3G pitches that are being built, because there are a few being built up and around Salford. Do you believe that's taken away from the game?
Well, I believe it partly takes away from the game. It certainly takes away from the clubs who now have to fund their development on it. So if you're an under-12s, under-10s team and you wish to play 7 till 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night to get your lads training, the hard facts are you've got to pay. You've got to stump up the cash for it. And if you can't pay, you don't play on it. You know, so development will drop off there.
Investment into football is a big thing, but it's not just what you see on the outside.
We've got 4 dressing rooms. This was a football foundation build. 4 dressing rooms that are all the same size and they all hit a particular standard which is required for our level of football. So we have three dressing rooms here. We have an away team, match officials, and we have an extra game. Sometimes we use an extra dressing room, which sometimes we use for lady officials as well, so that they can have their own space. But the top dressing room is the first team dressing room.
Okay. So I'll let you take the lead.
Okay, so it's...
Warren showed Salford now the team's dressing room, but with investment, there are plans in place to improve the players' space.
There will be cosmetic, really. I mean, this is a pretty basic dressing room, although it's a really nice one. But it would be nice to have more sort of individual spaces for the players. But again, it would be like an overhaul of a basic, pretty competent dressing room. You know, it'd be nice to get some enhancements to the dressing room, really. There isn't a lot that needs doing in terms of structural work in here, but it would be nice to make it into a better environment for the players, a more homely environment, you know.
Salford City are in League 2, and that leaves Earlham FC as the only non-league football team in Salford. Now, they've got a nice pitch and they have some nice stands, but there are some sports facilities in Salford that still need some development. There are 22 parks where people can play the UK's favourite sport. However, only 6 of these have specialty pitches, whether they are 5-a-side, 3G or all-weather facilities. A new floodlit 3G pitch is set to be complete in January 2020. Players are mostly affected by the investment in football, and one Salfordian midfielder discussed the playing surfaces he'd been on.
To the bottom of the pyramid, you can see that some of the pitches just aren't playable. Teams aren't able to get their games played, and the fixture congestion at the end of the season is just unbelievable. I've seen cases where you've had to play 10 games in 15 days. In the winter, I've seen a lot of bad injuries take place because of how bad the pitches are. But there's not much you can do about it because there's not enough investment.
So grassroots football appears to need a looking into. But what are the messages that the Prime Minister needs to hear?
Work closely with the Football Foundation, possibly more close than they do at the moment. Allow the Football Foundation to take the lead on where that funding is.
Just keep investing. You've got to keep investing more because it's just not enough at the moment.
Jack McKinnell, Salford Now.